The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hello and welcome back everyone. In this video it's time to get physical and bash those game controllers as I look back at my favourite wrestling game from back in the day. I am not necessarily saying it's the best, but it's the best one I have ever played. WWF Wrestlefest is a professional wrestling video game developed and released by Techno Japan for arcades in 1991. Featuring stars of the World Wrestling Federation. The game was distributed by Technos in Japan and North America, and by Tecmo in Japan, Europe and Australasia. It is the sequel to Techno's previous WWF game, WWF Superstars. The game adds support for up to 4 simultaneous players, and the ability to insert more credits into the machine to buy energy. 2 modes of play are available. In the Royal Rumble mode, the player picks one superstar and takes him through a Royal Rumble match. In Saturday night's main event mode, the player must pick 2 wrestlers to form a tag team and take them through a series of matches, including a title match with the Legion of Doom. In this mode, players can perform numerous double team moves. Additionally, after a team member has been on apron for a certain length of time, they will power up, temporarily giving them the ability to win all grapples and inflict more damage than usual. The game features 10 selectable superstars. Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Ted DiBiase, and Big Boss Man, they all return from WWF Superstars. Jake the Snake Roberts, Earthquake, Mr. Perfect, Sergeant Slaughter, Demolition comprising of Smash and Crush. These are all available as new superstars. With the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal making an appearance as a non-selectable boss tag team. But no Macho Man Randy Savage, which is an outrage. But I won't hold that against it. The most striking thing about this game is the absolutely huge sprites for this kind of game, and the overall quality of the visuals. They are top notch. Each wrestler seems to be packed with detail that is closely aligned to the real character they portray, and this portrayal even extends to the wrestler signalling to the crowd when they are about to perform their signature move. The animation is pretty smooth, if a little delayed at times. When slamming your opponent to the mat or throwing them against the ropes, you get this pause in animation. It's not a glitch or anything, it just seems to be the way it was intended. And I have to say, when playing the game today, or even all those years ago, it wasn't off-putting or distracting or anything. The backgrounds are made up of a wrestling ring and some animated crowds. But there is the famous blue steel cage in this game that was a sort of trademark of the WWF at the time, and it looks absolutely glorious as well. In between bouts in the tag team mode, you get these little cutscenes with the Road Warriors and Hogan, and they look fantastic. And in the Rumble mode, some opponents cut an impromptu promo before heading to the ring, which is very much of the era of WWF TV when this game was around. The sound is great, although it is very hard to hear it at times as you bash the buttons furiously. And the music is a little muted, and so these drown out the sound of the commentator guy. And no, we don't have quotes from Bobby the Brain Heenan or even Gorilla Monsoon. Just a lone announcer. And his voice is pretty clear, but at times when he says Hulkster, it sounds like he's saying toaster. So we get moments where he says toaster off the top rope, which is quite funny.
Holster climbed on the top rope. Holster climbed on the top rope.
Climbed on the top rope.
The sounds of the slams and punches are awesome. The slam in particular has this loud, impacting thud to it, and it sounds great. When this was around back in my day, the sound of that impact was like the soundtrack to my summer in 1991. The playability is very much the same as every other wrestling game of the time. It's a button masher, and when I was playing this game, it would always tire me out terribly, as it's just a relentless button bashing frenzy. And if that wasn't tiring enough, my local swimming pool had this, so I didn't even need to get on a bus or anything to go and play. It was just a 10-minute walk away, so I managed to save a bit of money, which I kind of had to, as this game would cost a fortune back in the day. And there was one very good feature of this game, and that was the ability to buy in at any time, and so you could restore your energy bar at any point, and it did wear down quicker and quicker as the game progressed, and by the time you get to the Road Warriors, you were knackered. I should also mention at this point that in the local swimming pool, the arcade cabinet was in the coffee shop bit, but the coffee shop was not separate from the pool area, and so the air in the place was hot all the time. And when playing this game, you would sweat buckets, and you could even feel a little bit of sweat dribbling down the crack of your ass. But it was all worth it, especially when playing with a mate, as the two-player was the best way to play this game. I must have spent about £5 on this machine one time, just to get to and beat the Road Warriors, and when me and a mate finally done it, the game starts again, and you just go through the whole thing again. It was a pretty tiring experience, but one that was well worth it. A question that has to be asked, I suppose, is does this game appeal to non-wrestling fans? Well, I would say yes. I think it'd more appeal to WWF fans, but any fans of video games would get a kick out of this game. But there was always one smartass who would complain if you picked Warrior and Jake as a team, given they were bitter enemies at this point. But it's only a game, for crying out loud. I mean, look here, as Jake defeats Ted DiBiase, and he just leaves DiBiase wallowing in the muck of avarice. But did he really? Who knows? But man, what a promo from Jake. Anyway, back to the game. Yeah, it's bloody brilliant. And now on emulation, with the benefit of rapid fire, it's actually even better, as it doesn't puff you out when playing. And emulation is the only way you can actually play this game. Due to a licensing issue between LGN, Acclaim and WWF, it wasn't able to get ported to the home formats, which is a real shame. But I guess it's another thing that lends itself to the appeal of this game. I highly recommend you go and play this now, if you have the ability to do so. And that was my look back at WWF Wrestlefest. If you enjoyed this video, then please do all the usual like, comment and subscribe malarkey. And a massive thank you to all of those who have subscribed already. Your support really does help with the growth of the channel, and so I say thank you. And that's all from me, folks. Thanks for watching.